Good evening, and welcome to the Noah Vision Tales of Strange and the Bizarre. For tonight's story, I present a tale of strange creatures hiding in the shed. The story was written by myself, and special thanks to Gavin Parish and Sorelliena for providing voice acting. And if you enjoy, please like, subscribe, and comment the word alien to protect my channel from the scary presence of the YouTube algorithm. With all that being said, let's get on with the story.
I tend to find that whenever people find out that I believe in aliens, they usually react like I'm a moron, but they never seem to ask why I believe in the extraterrestrial. It was the early 1980s, and I was around 7 years old. I was sat in front of the boxy TV playing some outdated video game with my younger brother. The evening was dark and cold. It was November, and you could tell. We were making good progress in our game when my mom came in.
Timmy, could you go get your dad's hammer out the shed? Apparently he wants to put a picture up,
She said with that instructing tone that all parents had at the time. Can't Dad get it himself? It's dark out, I said. Mom just responded by glaring at me. Oh, you're in big trouble now, my brother said, mocking me while still playing the game. I sighed and went out to the shed, leaving through the back door in the kitchen. I crossed a green lawn. The cold evening air chilled my skin and made me shiver. I finally reached the shed door. I attempted to slip the key into the rusty lock. It grinded and scraped before I finally was able to unlock the old, damp wooden door of the shed. I stepped inside. The air was cold and still. I tried to look around for the hammer, yet all I could see standing before me was darkness. I reached for the torch that my father always left in the shed. I found it and flicked it on. The bulb cast a yellow glow across everything inside. Once the light was cast, I heard a sound coming from the corner of the small space. It was a squeaking, creaking sound. At first I assumed it was a mouse, yet when I panned my light across to where the sound came from, the sight before me sent an ungodly fear through my soul. It was a creature, stood in the shadowy corner of the shed. It croaked and wheezed as my heart pounded in fear. The strange creature was blood red and looked completely alien. Its slimy crimson skin was like a fungus. Its body was wide, lumpy, yet squat. The strange creature's head was ovular and had 3 round eyes stacked on top of each other. The line of eyes sat in the middle of the creature's blank face. The strange little red monster started to waddle towards me, wailing in a strange croaking voice. I stood there, welded to the ground in shock and terror as the creature raised its spindly arms towards me. The neck of the beast rose out of its shoulders, extending out like a snake, waving around as it approached me. The creature's eyes dilated. 3 large black pupils sat in a sea of white and red. I fell backwards in terror, falling out the doorway and landing on the damp grass below. I screamed and ran from my house. My panicked running across the grass was wobbly and terror-filled. I crashed through the kitchen door and landed on the tiled floor with a bellowing thud. My mum stared at me as I laid on the floor for a moment. I just stayed flat, my body pressed against the white tiled floor. I hastily pulled myself up and explained to my mum what was in the shed. She remained blank. She never properly responded. She did sigh, then shouted for my dad. He wandered in a moment later. He stood in the doorway, a cigarette hanging from his mouth. Dad, there's a thing in the shed. It's alive and scary, I breathlessly declared to my dad. He simply just groaned and retrieved his revolver from the top kitchen drawer. He loaded the shiny weapon and went out to the garden, alone. I watched as he walked over to the shed, swung the door open, then once inside,
Jesus Christ,
he shouted. In the family, we never spoke about what happened. Dad never mentioned what happened to the strange red alien. I presume he buried it somewhere outside. For a long time I wasn't sure what the creature was. It was only around 15 years later when I was at college that I decided the creature was an alien. I was reading a book about extraterrestrial activity. I read a story in that book about a Mexican farm in the 1940s. The story spoke about alien visitors coming down from silver flying bell-shaped ships. However, what convinced me that these creatures were the same as the one I had seen previously in the shed was a sketch done by one of the people there. It was exactly the same as what I had seen, the same blood-red alien. I don't know what that alien was doing in my family shed. Was it stranded and looking for a way home? Or worse, Was it some kind of scout for something much bigger? I'm still not sure of the answer, but what that event did teach me was that we are not alone.
Subscribe if you enjoyed and want to see more content in future.